Hello there, everybody, and today I'm reviewing a Ninja Turtles episode, that being the War for Dimension X. This is where the Turtles and Fugitoid have decided to go to Dimension X to look for Agent Bishop to find a way to find the other black hole generator pieces, but it leads to a war between the Krang, in which we will learn in a bit, with the other Krang species. But it starts off with the return of Mona Lisa and her friend. I forget how to say his name, I'm sorry. It's the commander of the Salamari. They try to team up with the Krang, but because the Krang are corrupt and the bad guys, Krang Subprime rejects their offer as they are trying to fight against the Triceratons. But that's where it leads to the Turtles going to Dimension X. Fugitoid takes the Turtles, and April and Casey are sent to stay behind again. Literally happens 3 times in a row, and April and Casey just don't like it, and Casey's just slapping his hockey stick. April's just pouting. But the Turtles make it to Dimension X, and the Raph's just not looking forward to it since he hates space, and he even says he hates Dimension X. And we also see the return of Mikey's alter ego, his Dimension X salvage, whatever you want to call it, Mikey. And the Turtles have made it to Dimension X, and they're going to meet up with Agent Bishop, and they manage to find a secret passage to a headquarters, which is revealed to be another Krang species called the Ooptrons. So if you don't know who the Ooptrons are in Ninja Turtles history, they are basically it's like a good version of the Krang. I bet if people saw the Ooptrons, say they didn't read the comics, they'd see the Ootrons, and they probably think it's Krang. But the Ootrons we actually learn about the history of the Ootrons and the Krang. We finally learn how they became to be. That's where we meet the Ootron Council. One is Irma, the other is a dude with this mustache, and other is Agent Bishop, and the other is the one that looks like the teacher from what we saw all the way back in season 1 with the arms. Even Mikey says her name, even though they never established who the teacher is in this world that the Krang was impersonating. But they managed to have this meet, and we learn about the Krang's origin. It turns out the Ootrons were these peaceful alien species until one named Krang, which is Krang Prime, ended up using the Earthworm's mutagen to mutate himself, and that's why we have a gigantic Krang in this, because he mutated, and he used his psychic powers to brainwash all the Ootrons. Only 100 survived, and they now take over other worlds. So that's how the Krang came to be, which was a nice backstory we learned. But the Turtles are trying their best with the Fugitoid to rescue the black hole generator and destroy it. But of course the council's stubborn about it, and they reject the offer. Well, they don't exactly, they just say they're gonna put it on hold, something they could think about. But the Turtles say they don't want to wait that long, but they are interrupted by Krang. Leo also didn't say how they are from the future. So it honestly, this, I don't know if this is a nitpick, but the way when the Bishop know now that they use the black hole generator to destroy Earth, wouldn't that mean they would change the future? I don't know. It's a bit confusing, but I'm not gonna let it bother me too much. But the Krang invade with Subprime, and now it's a full-on war as the Krang are attacking, and they manage to take out the princess, the one that looks like the teacher, and they're gonna use her for something. And Mikey and Raph jump into the portal, and they manage to find Mona Lisa and the commander of the Salamari. And Raph is, of course, falling in love, per usual, since he's now found his other love interest. And Mikey's like, ooh, can you guys be mushy later? But they managed to hide in one of the cells for a bit until they managed to find the princess from Krang Subprime, who wants to experiment on her. But she manages to fight it off. And our characters are now in a full-on assault against the Krang versus the Ootrons. And by the way, the Ootrons designs, they actually have this white and blue Krang droid armor, like instead of the dark blue ones the Krang have, I thought that was a cool design change. It's nice to see that the good Utron look like that and the bad Krang look like that. So it's like a different war. So they get into this big battle, and they try to fight like this dragon Krang thing, and Bishop manages to fight off against Krang Subprime, but he almost is taken out, but he manages to blast it. We actually even learn Krang Subprime's real name, which was nice. And but he is almost about to take our characters out with a techno drone, but they use the dragon to take out the Krang Subprime, and we think that's it of him, but we're gonna see him in a few episodes later. But after this war is finally put to rest, the Krang are arrested, and Raph finally gets to, I guess, make out with Mona Lisa, and they share a kiss after Raph was ticked off by Mikey. And I think that's this episode. And they also revealed where the other black hole generator pieces are. Bishop revealed it. So it was just like an episode waiting for anticipation, basically. But yeah, this episode was actually really good. I don't really remember this episode too fondly. I don't remember loving it, but rewatching it actually felt nice. But the next episodes is the Cosmic Ocean, and the other one after that, I can't wait to talk about that one. But anyway, thanks for watching, and Turtle Power.